Hey everybody, Curtis here with another pedal demo for you. This time it is the Chasebliss Audio Warped Vinyl, all analog vibrato chorus pedal. I'm going to be using my Banning Nocaster with McNally pickups going in my Milkman half-pint 5-watt amplifier, mic'd with a Sennheiser E906, and here is the clean bass tone. And here is the warped vinyl in a chorus mode. Now I'm going to switch gears here. We'll go to more of a vibrato mode. So what we have here from Chasebliss Audio is a very cool all analog signal path vibrato and chorus pedal, and it really packs in an incredible amount of options. I've never seen more options in a pedal, and that can be scary to some, but I want to make this demo really simple, really easy, and show you some of the really easy to get, easy to use, sort of simple sounds. And then when you've had time playing with this pedal, you get one and you understand how to use it a bit more and spend a bit more time, you can understand all of the options. There's 16 different dip switches on the bottom of the pedal, and it is super cool and incredibly creative, the sounds you can get out of this. So very quickly, we have an RPM knob here which controls the speed. You can use that knob, or you can use this tap switch. You tap here. After 2 times of tapping, it either gives you what you've tapped if you're set in the 1 by this tap switch here, or you can multiply it by 2, so what you tap gets doubled, etc. There's other options. You can select a switch on the bottom that gives you 3, 6, or 8 multiplication of what you've tapped. Then we have the Maji Shape section, incredibly interesting. So we have the depth or intensity of the effect, and then we have the ability to control the first half of the waveform and the back half of the waveform, and then we can change whether we want it to be symmetrical or not. So if this is at 12 o'clock noon, and the beginning half of our waveform we've selected a triangle, and the back half of the waveform we've selected a triangle, they will be even. If we turn this knob to the left, we will have a shorter first half of a triangle and a longer second half of the triangle. If we turn it to the right, it will be the opposite. So very cool, and you can select different waveform for the first half of the wave to the second. So we can select a sine first half of the wave and a square wave for the second half of the wave. Very cool, incredible amount of options, and you can get some really cool sounds and tones out of that. Then we have a mix control up here. It's full 100% wet. We back it off. It's 100% dry, so about in the middle is 50-50, and it is very nice. Then we have volume control, lots of volume on tap. And then we have ramp control here, and the ramp is kind of like a magical knob. It is kind of more like ramp time. It's the amount of time you want it to take to get for the parameter that you select to be controlled by this knob to change. And so on the bottom, I mentioned there's 16 different dip switches. Basically, you can select all of the options on the top of this pedal, and then you can decide whether you want it to happen really fast for the depth to reach its setting that you've set it at, or if you want it to be really slow. So if you want it to happen really fast for the depth to go from here to here, you'd select it to be short amount of ramp time. If you want it to take longer, you would turn this ramp knob over here. Of course, in order for that to be associated with the depth, you'd have to select the switch on the bottom. I'm not going to go through all that. There's an incredible amount of demos online. They're really longer, in-depth, multiple part demos that cover a lot of different features of this pedal. As well, there's a tap out feature here. You can use a 1/4-inch jack to slave the time of this pedal with another, or the opposite. This pedal can control the time of another. Then we have an expression control here. The expression control controls whatever you set. So it's either the ramp knob or the expression control the parameters that you've set by the switches on the bottom of the pedal. So we can all breathe. It's very simple. When you sit down with it and you start turning things, you realize what's going on. It makes sense. The really, really cool about this thing is it is all analog signal path, but because it is digital brain, analog heart, they, with the digital side of things, can control and save your settings that you like when you hear this pedal. So you dial in settings you want with this manual mode with this middle switch in the middle. And then you can hold this switch and then hold those and save it to a preset on this side. So I'm just going to let you listen. This will be some other options of sounds you can get from this pedal. So this is the first preset that is saved here. So then that is the preset that's saved on the left side. We'll go to the right side now, which is indicated by right. The other one, as you can see, was indicated by green. So we'll go to the right side now, let you listen. So that is preset, and we'll go back into manual mode there now with that switch in the middle. Very, very cool to be able to have an all-analog sounding pedal with that digital control and preset capability. And this is new territory in my mind, just for analog sounds and digital controls. And let's just focus a little bit on the Maji Shape section of the pedal. So I'm going to bring it all the way to a high mix, and I'm going to back off a little bit on the rate. Let's just see where we are at here as far as sound. I'm going to bring up the depth a bit. I'm going to change the waveform on the front half to triangle and on the back half to be square. So you can hear with the back half of the waveform being square, it's a more pronounced rhythmic sound. Now, I'm going to turn this warp knob to the left, and you'll hear now more of the rhythmic back half of the wave. Do the opposite. So we bring it back up to a symmetrical waveform, and if I select both square, so incredible tones and shaping of the waveform capability that you have here with this Maji Shape section of the pedal. Now, I want to try and give you a little bit of a mild chorus setting. A friend of mine who's a producer was telling me that he really likes a very subtle chorus setting, but so if we were to do 50-50 wet and dry, and then I'll show you how he likes to set a chorus. So this will be a deeper chorus sound. So we have a pretty good rate and depth here, but we can back it right off, and we can do the same with vibrato. I'll show you in a moment. Back right off on the mix, and that gives you really, really subtle change in tone. So here's clean signal. So often in a studio setting, my friend finds that very helpful. I'm going to go all the way to a wet mix here now. I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to give us some of the more crazy vibrato tones that we get the name warped vinyl from, and very, very cool. So I'm going to go to both triangle waveform here. Just let you listen. So we're turning up the depth here, and we will get in a more warped vinyl, warped sound territory. The neat thing about having the dry-wet mix control is we can take that really intense sound and we could back it off in the mix. So it's really subtle. We have a strong, clean tone, and then we have just a little bit of the affected sound blended in with it. Even if we make it more predominant with a square wave, so in our band and our context that we play in, when often less is more, we really can make use of a mix knob and have a really intense sound, but back it off in the mix just to give that nice character to your guitar tone. And then, of course, when we want things crazy, obviously we can crank it to full wet mix and get some great tones. So that is my brief on the Chasebliss Audio Warped Vinyl Pedal, and it's incredible, incredible sounding. It really has a beautiful analog kind of tone to it, and you can get an incredible amount of creative sounds out of it. Like I mentioned, there's 16 different dip switches on the bottom, and you can assign them to the ramp time knob here or the expression, and really give you creative control and liberty to expand and develop kind of almost a new modulation territory with the warped vinyl. So thank you so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you absolutely have to. Please subscribe to my channel if you can. I do appreciate all the likes and comments and views, and I hope you have a great day. Later.